It's what? Light. What is light? You know, when we look at what is light, we all know. It's just an agent that stimulates sight and makes things visible. Simple. I'm sure we know the dictionary meaning of light. But light is not just, is it just the natural sunlight that we are talking about? Or is it the lights from bulbs, LEDs, controls, technologies? Yes, of course. Light from nature, light from technology. But there is more to it than just that. Light has a much greater meaning and our roles to play in our lives. It goes beyond the natural and the physical form. Now, what is that which goes beyond the natural and the physical form? Light has to be felt. One of the panels just said, Dil ki baat. Dil. The lights that we use so much, which is such an integral part of all our projects, has to be used only when we feel the light. We have to be seeing the light and feeling it along with the visuals that we have. We must keep in mind that light, it impacts our emotions. It impacts our perceptions. It impacts the way we deal with the world around us. Light is that critical. Because unless and until we feel the light, we will not be able to use it for the purpose that it has been designed. It is not just about using them in numbers. It's not about a client specification. It is not about a product that has been promoted or a new technology that is coming to the market. The question we have to ask ourselves as designers at all times is, does it feel right? And if the answer is yes, we have to go ahead with it. Light actually is an art form. Light is not just a source of something that illuminates a space. It can be used artistically so beautifully well that it can transform any space without having to do much. It's a temporary transformation of space, yes, but without having to create an edifice, light can simply transform an entire space into another visual that delights us altogether. It's a dance between science and aesthetics. So it's not just about the science of the light, the LED, the lumens, the tungstens and this and that and all the technology that goes behind it, but it is also about the aesthetics. It is translated into various ways. Imagine walking down the wood and picking up some twigs on your way, coming back home, putting them together with some fairy lights, simple fairy lights that we use during Diwali, creating these beautiful artworks and hanging them in the wall. Isn't that a beautiful emotion to create? Memories to look at? Simple but effective. It affects our moods. It affects our experiences. And it recalls memories of what we do in our life, in our everyday life. Light is a storyteller. Yes, my dear friends, it weaves narratives within spaces. Look at that beautiful light artwork on the wall. Simple, plaster of Paris artwork done by a student of design at a simple, not too expensive restaurant. Light has made all the magic there. The lighting there has made the light and shadow of the wall so beautiful that it guides our attention towards it. It evokes a certain kind of emotion, that feel-good factor. I want to sit there and have a conversation with my friend. I want to sit there and have a cup of tea with my friend or a drink with my friend. That's the effect of light. Light, in its beautiful ways, tells stories. It tells a beautiful dynamic story when it is at an art gallery. Look at the way the light falls on the artwork and the play of light and shadow. It paints a canvas of intrigue and drama. It turns ordinary spaces into captivating spaces. You can't help but look at the artwork thanks to the light falling onto the wall, onto the painting, to be able to admire and live the story of the painting that talks about it. Imagine this if this light source was not there on this painting. Will the painting be so good? Will we be able to enjoy it? Perhaps not. Light. Light is a conductor of time. Time, our life is all about the circadian rhythms. A rhythm that we need to monitor each and every day. What time are we getting up? What time are we sleeping? How are we sleeping? It affects our mood. It affects the way we behave with the world. And light, my dear friends, helps us to do that. If we get up in the morning, draw our curtains, look straight into the glaring light of the sun, trust me, try it for 7 days, your life will change. You will be able to think better, behave better, and be able to run through all the stresses of life in such a beautiful way that you will wonder, oh my goodness, that one look at the sunlight for 10 minutes in the morning changed my life. And of course, thanks to all the LED and the manufacturers of beautiful light fixtures, we have lamps in the evening, creating mood lighting, the perfect ambience for us to go to sleep, to help us with our stresses at night, to help us create that calm, that beautiful space where we can relax and a good night's sleep. And of course, the natural light. We cannot ignore the sun. The rising of the sun, the shifting hues of dawn and dusk, connects us to the world's rhythm. The beautiful rising sun, meditative. The inner peace that is required. The inner peace that is required for all our family of the NPC to be able to do all the beautiful community work that Club NPC desires to do. Meditation, my friends, I'm sure would help. Thinking inwardly. And of course, imagine looking at the sun setting. Isn't it a beautiful experience? The joy. This sun setting can bring the kind of joy no amount of whiskey can. So, try and look at the sunset and the sunrise every day. Trust me, you don't need any external things to help you feel good. Light is a sculptor of space. Yes, a sculptor. A sculptor, it defines architecture by revealing textures, forms, and contours. Look at this image here. Just look at the light and shadow that it plays on the floor, creating sheer drama. We don't need to do much for the interiors. The light is doing it all. Simple, but yet so effective. I think some of you would know which building this is. The St. Paul's Cathedral in London. To enter, we need, I think, 2,500 rupee ticket. But trust me, it is worth the while. It is worth the while because you enter the space and you see the grandeur of this historic structure. And it's thanks to the light and the play of light and shadow that has created this ambience so beautifully that you wonder, how come you missed something so important when you were doing your own project? I did that when I went to this monument the first time. It was not just about the complexity of the artworks and the architecture. It was the highlights which created the total drama inside and the way we were drawn to each and every feature of the space. Light is also an interpreter of culture. Any guesses which building this is? Absolutely right. The beautiful Humayun's tomb. It has history, and we all know the history. But what we sometimes overlook is the sheer rhythm that it creates in the water body right in front of that Humayun's tomb. When we look at the structure in the water, it has a different implication altogether. Light, my dear friends, is something that infuses tradition and stories into the architectural landscape. Light also interprets our culture. Pujas, Durga Puja, Kali Puja, elaborate pandals made out of nothing, temporary structures. But imagine, those temporary structures are created with an impact of light, and light that brings together our communities. The illuminations bridges the past with the present. It reflects our heritage, and needless to say, it brings together our communities. Communities which come together for celebrations. And that is what light does to us. It's a language. Light is a language we speak with our senses, with our emotions, and with our intellect. You know, just look at this image. Something as basic as a rough stone wall. What is effective is the light that falls on it and creates a sheer drama, a pleasure to the eyes. It helps us bring nature into everyday life. It goes beyond functionality. And yes, thanks to that light falling on that wall, a simple bathroom transcends and converts into something so glamorous, something that we can cherish each and every day that we use the space. So friends, we need to keep all these little details in mind when we are using light as a medium of design. It is not just a medium of illumination. Light brings out the painter in us. This picture almost looks like a painting, don't you think so? A complete art. An artwork where the water ripples in blue, moves on to the blank space and then shows the city light. And notice the stars in the sky. Light. It's almost like a painting. Anybody knows which building this is, what structure this is? Yes, ma'am.
Hussaini Gufa.
The Gufa. And do you know who's behind it?
B.V. Doshi.
MF Doctor. Yes. Dr. B.V. Doshi, the noted architect, along with the famous painter, MF Hussain, created this. Need I say more? The picture says it all. A source of great inspiration and wonder. Light brings out the designer in us. I'm sure there are a lot of interior designers and aspiring interior designers sitting here. Imagine what light has done to this simple space. We have natural light flooding in from the window. We have beautiful light fixtures, which are technologically made, hanging from the ceiling. And together, they create a sheer visual delight. Light brings out the designer in us again by creating this beautiful hotel lobby drama, underlighting it. Look at the ceiling. You know, we spend so much money doing ceiling designs, ceiling patterns, spending money. How about this? Simply uplighting some plants creates this beautiful pattern in the ceiling. Simple, cheap, very effective. Light brings out the architect in us. Any guesses who's the gentleman in the screen going up the steps? Doshi Sahab, absolutely. Oh my goodness, what a man. So proud of having Dr. B.V. Doshi, an Indian architect, taking Indian architecture to the world and bringing accolades to our country, our India. Light has to be understood by the balance that every architect desires and is key to the success of any project, which Dr. B.V. Doshi has so beautifully achieved in this particular building, the IIM Ahmedabad. The challenge here as an architect also lies in finding the equilibrium that enhances the space while preserving its integrity, both at day and in night. The Lotus Temple, a beautiful modern architecture, so beautiful with the natural light in the day and completely transformed at night thanks to light. I have great lighting engineers who have done an amazing job. Mustn't be missed. If any of you have not seen Baha'i Temple, the Lotus Temple in the evening or at night, you are missing something very good, very great. Light brings out the choreographer in us. Dance, the water and the fire, dancing together, creating such a beautiful visual delight. Kuch nahi kiya, simple. Water pouring out of a bottle with a background of flames. Isn't it a tango? Taking the same choreography. Imagine looking into the window outside to the mountains and at the same time enjoying the light and the warmth from the fire. All at the same time. So there's nature outside, there's fire inside, and I'm sure there's the light fixture, a beautiful pedestal lamp sitting right in the middle of the two, bridging the gap and bringing the two elements together as the third dimension. Light. Yes, my dear friends, light is a silent partner. Silently, have you noticed, light brings out so much beauty to everything that we do in each and every day. It silently brings out meaning to a space. It empowers the space, animating it beyond illumination. Any guesses what project this is? Where is this? The famous architect Shant Fernando in Colombo. Award-winning project, the Cafe Paradise Road. I cannot stop admiring how Shant Fernando, the architect, has created an amazing space. Look at the wall on the outside, rough, but it's the natural light which illuminates it. The big earthen pots have been underlit by LED lights. There are small fairy lights on the top. Together, they make the picture a beautiful composition. A composition that you must go and admire if you ever visit Colombo. It's an absolute must visit. And my last slide here. Light is a silent partner, yes. Look at the narrative. Light is an integral part of the design narrative, creating a fine balance between enhancing and imposing. Light silently enhances the beauty and the purpose of space. So that was light around. And the light, very important, is the light within us. Club NTC believes in the light within. And I'm so happy to be associated with Club NTC because that light within is our inner radiance that illuminates not just our own power, but also it lives through people around us. It empowers the lives of those who we touch in our own beautiful way. Let us keep our inner light kindled and spread warmth, joy, and positivity in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you.